hard time reaching Jon. Oh, Jon landed a high kick.
He makes out. It is all over.
Got the neck.
Jon Jones has to. Jones to the body. And it is all over.
It's been an honor to watch you become the heavyweight champion, and I can't wait to see you again. Welcome back, and congratulations on achieving your goal.
Last thing.
The greatest of all time, ladies and gentlemen, Jon Jones!
Jon Jones has the bombshell message that has the entire MMA world talking. Jon Jones just dropped a statement that's got fans, critics, and even Dana White scratching their heads. The former heavyweight champion, who gave up his belt just months ago, is now claiming he's still the champion. But there's so much more to this story. Let's dive in. So here's what happened. Jon Jones recently appeared in promotional material for Ketone energy drinks. And guess what was printed right there on the advertisement? UFC Heavyweight Champion. Now, here's the problem. Jones hasn't held that title since June, when he retired and relinquished the belt to Tom Aspinall. Fans immediately called him out, with one user straight up saying this was a lie. But Jones's response? Pure Jon Jones. He fired back on X, saying, and I quote, "Man, we should have stamped Forever Champion on it. After everything I've done in the UFC so far, I still wake up every morning feeling like the champ of the world. That's a feeling no one can ever take away from me."
I'm not in any way being disrespectful when I say this, but there's a mean streak to Jon Jones that you see when he's fighting. And when he's doing his interviews, he hides it. He's kind of, friendly, etc., etc. But when you put somebody in front of him, they are food, right? He is trying to rip you apart. That edge is really what makes Jon Jones great in mixed martial arts, because he finds the edges of the rule book where he can push and really try and do damage to you.
Now, that's either the confidence of a legend or the delusion of someone who can't let go. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But wait, there's more to this story. Let's rewind to June 2025. After months of controversy and accusations that he was holding the heavyweight division hostage by refusing to fight interim champion Tom Aspinall, Dana White announced Jones's retirement while in Azerbaijan.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
The MMA world thought that was it, the end of one of the most controversial yet dominant careers in UFC history. Tom Aspinall was elevated to undisputed champion, and fans finally had closure. Or so we thought. Because just weeks later, Jones pulled the ultimate plot twist. He announced his comeback. Why? Because President Trump is hosting a UFC event at the White House on July 4th, 2026, and Jones wants in.
Yo. Just wanted to wish you all a very happy and proud 4th of July. Hope you guys were safe this year and that no one lost any fingers or anything like that. Dutch, lay down. That's a good boy. USA, USA.
The man went from retired legend to active fighter faster than you can say testing pool. He's back in USADA testing, listed as active on the UFC website, and apparently still considers himself the rightful champion. But here's where it gets interesting, and this leads us to our next segment. Dana White is not having it. If Jon Jones dropped a bombshell, Dana White responded with a nuclear bomb at the UFC 318 press conference. When asked about Jones potentially headlining the White House card, White didn't mince words. He said, and this is huge, "I can't risk putting him in big positions and have something go wrong, especially with the White House card. Ouch." That's basically Dana saying, I don't trust you, Jon.
I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, especially the White House card.
And honestly, can you blame him? Let's run through Jones's track record. White's position is clear. Jon Jones is too much of a liability for the biggest UFC event in history. But Jones wasn't going down without a fight. He responded with what he called disappointment, saying he's staying in the testing pool and training like a professional. He even said fighting at the White House would give him greater purpose, beyond paychecks and belts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, UFC fans all over the world. Jon Jones, the greatest fighter of all time, potentially, possibly. The guy that retired recently, about 2 weeks ago, because he didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall, because he'd been there, done it. He's living his best life. He's got nothing more to prove. He walked away from the sport, essentially undefeated. He has been retired for 2 weeks, maybe less than that. That gets a bit blurry depending on what the timeline is. But according to Twitter, apparently, according to Twitter, his Twitter, not general hearsay, Jon Jones has unretired. That is correct. He says that he is now back in the testing pool. Check this out. So, of course,
The question is this genuine motivation or just another Jon Jones manipulation? Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Jon Jones's legacy. There's no denying his achievements. 28-1 record, dominated 2 weight classes, spent 1,743 days as the pound-for-pound king, and defeated legends like Daniel Cormier, Lyoto Machida, and Quinton Jackson. But his recent actions have people questioning everything. Former opponent Dominic Reyes didn't hold back, saying Jones strings everyone along and lies, and accused him of running from dangerous fights.
Analyzing this fight, what rounds do you believe that you won?
All 3, first 3, easily.
First 3.
He had nothing for me. He might have landed 2 punches in all 3 of those rounds.
Did you watch
Yeah,
it? We all watched it.
4 and 5, he took me down 4 and 5. But I got up in 1.5 seconds. Like, now that counts as nothing. He took me down, wasted energy, I got up and then elbowed him.
Reyes specifically called out how Jones avoided their rematch after their controversial UFC 247 fight, a fight that even Dana White thought Reyes had won. According to Reyes, Jones said he wasn't being paid enough to fight someone too dangerous. Sound familiar? That's exactly what fans are saying about the Tom Aspinall situation.
Jon actively goes like this. I would be facing him and he would literally put his fingers in my face like this, like, I dare you to run in. So then I punched down on his fingers, and that was from OSP. When he's trying to stick his fingers in your face, just punch down on him.
What was that preparation like with Jon?
Well, the preparation, mad. 5 rounds, third 5-round fight.
Who was able to give you those same looks as Jon?
OSP showed up one time to help me out. Just not letting Jon do anything he wants to do. That's how we did it. If he wants to stand there, attack him. If he wants to attack you, move. Grapple, break the grapple. If he wants to strike, kick him. Because he loves to dictate the pace. He's a genius fighter. So good at making you fight his fight and then trapping you.
That pressure of, it's Jon Jones, it's a fight, gets to guys. We saw it in the surreal Gon. Gon just kind of
quit.
That's what it felt like. I'm not saying he did.
It
allegedly
looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Here's the hard truth. Jones might have the skills and accomplishments to be called the GOAT, but his pattern of avoiding the biggest challenges is starting to overshadow his achievements. When Alexander Gustafsson pushed him to the limit at UFC 165, Jones called him his toughest opponent. But when it came time for real threats like a prime Reyes or current Tom Aspinall, suddenly there are contract disputes, retirements, and excuses. So where does this leave us?
The captain!
Jon Jones is training, he's in the testing pool, and he's making it clear he wants that White House fight. But Dana White has essentially said, thanks, but no thanks. Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion and has been calling for this fight for months. The fans want it, the division needs it. But will we ever see it? Or will Jones continue this forever champion mindset while avoiding the one fight that could truly cement or destroy his legacy? The ball is in Dana's court, but Jon Jones seems determined to keep playing games. And that's the latest on the Jon Jones saga.
I mean, I don't want to slag him off, but it's some like bad fight IQ.
No, that's what we said going into it, lad. Obviously, he's explosive, he's fast, but his fight IQ is not good.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Because he was like going there, picking you right up off the floor, which gets a bit of a scream off the crowd, slamming you, and you were going,
yeah, and getting
straight back up. I'm like, you could have saved half the energy and been on top. Oh. You know what, it's weird because he's obviously like a really fit guy, but if you do a sprint for 5 minutes, no one's going to be fit, are they? That's what he does. He just goes out there, he throws from like here, swinging, everything he does, he's picking up full blast. It's just, it's mad for someone who has that many fights. I'm just surprised.
Michael Chandler sends a clear bombshell message to UFC Heavyweight Champion Tom Aspinall, firing back with explosive comments after the British fighter questioned his fight IQ. In a move that's got the entire MMA community talking, Chandler hits back at Big Goober Tom Aspinall's fight IQ criticism with a Jon Jones dig that cuts deep into the heavyweight division's most controversial storyline.
Just say you'll fight him. He refuses to say still that he'll fight Tom Aspinall because he was walking through an airport and they were saying, so will you fight Tom Aspinall? And he's like, I fight whoever the champion is. Well, that's Tom Aspinall. I said, yeah, but the fight's not going to happen for a year. So we'll see who the champion is at that time.
This is developing into one of the most heated exchanges we've seen this year. So let's break down exactly what happened and why this feud is far from over. Let's start from the beginning. UFC Heavyweight Champion Tom Aspinall was recently training with Liverpool's own Paddy Pimblett, the same fighter who dominated Michael Chandler at UFC 314 with devastating ground and pound in the third round. During a breakdown video on Aspinall's YouTube channel, the British heavyweight didn't hold back when analyzing Chandler's performance. Here's what the champion had to say. It's bad fight IQ. It's weird because he's a fit guy. But if you do a sprint for 5 minutes, no one's going to be fit, are they? That's what he does. He just goes out there, throws, swinging. Everything he does is picking up full blast. It's mad for someone who has that many fights. I'm just surprised.
I thought that's like some, I mean, I don't want to slag him off, but it's some like bad fight IQ.
No, that's what we said going into it, lad. Obviously, he's explosive, he's fast, but his fight IQ is not good.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Because he was like going there, picking you right up off the floor, which gets a bit of a scream off the crowd, slamming you, and you were going,
yeah, and getting
straight back up. I'm like, you could have saved half the energy and been on top.
And as soon, like, no, when he done that a few times, got back up, and then I jumped for the flying triangle and kicked him off me. And as soon as we separated there, when I kicked him off, I seen him go,
yeah.
And I just knew he was fading already. Know what I mean?
It's
started putting a bit more shots in on him.
You know what, it's weird because he's obviously like a really fit guy, but if you do a sprint for 5 minutes, no one's going to be fit, are they? That's what he does. He just goes out there, he throws from like here, swinging, everything he does, he's picking up full blast. It's just...
Aspinall's criticism centers on Chandler's all-out brawler style, that relentless forward pressure that's given us some incredible knockouts, but also contributed to his struggles in the octagon. The numbers don't lie. Chandler has suffered 5 losses in his last 7 UFC fights, with wins only against Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson since jumping ship from Bellator.
Michael Chandler is now 1-5 in his last 6, but he's always been exciting and a fan favorite. What do you make of his performance tonight? And
he's always in the fight. I mean, he's always in the fight. You know, tonight was a big night for Paddy Pimblett. People, like we were just talking about, people have been doubting Paddy Pimblett every single fight he fights, and he's undefeated in the UFC. But Chandler's like our Arturo Gatti, man. Every time that guy goes in, you know you're in for a good fight. You know it's going to be a war.
But as we're about to see, the 39-year-old veteran wasn't about to take this criticism lying down. Michael Chandler's response came swift and brutal, and he went straight for the jugular with a comparison that's sure to sting. Taking to threads, Chandler fired back with this scorching reply. Didn't that big goober say this like 3 years ago? And then waited as long for Jon as I did for Conor after he criticized me for waiting for Conor? Cool. Now, let's unpack this, because Chandler is drawing a direct parallel between 2 of the most frustrating waiting games in recent UFC history.
I hit him, he went down to his back, pulled guard. Gaethje hit him, hurt him, he went down to the guard. Poirier hit him, hurt him, and he went down to guard. He was knowingly forcing himself to go to the guard and forcing you to make a decision. Okay, you hit me. Okay, I went down. Now come into my world. And most guys don't go on top of him.
Chandler spent nearly 2 years on the sidelines waiting for Conor McGregor to return. They coached opposite each other on The Ultimate Fighter in 2023, were scheduled to headline UFC 303 in June 2024, but McGregor pulled out with a toe injury. That fight never happened, and McGregor still hasn't competed since breaking his leg against Dustin Poirier in 2021. Similarly, Aspinall had been waiting for Jon Jones to defend the heavyweight title against him. Jones held the division hostage, showing little interest in fighting the interim champion, instead preferring to face older legends like Stipe Miocic.
I see a lot of people, comparing me to Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler waited for a long time for Conor McGregor and stuff like that. Great. I'm not looking to fight Jon Jones. I'm looking to fight for the undisputed heavyweight champion. That's what I want to be. I want to be the UFC undisputed heavyweight champion.
The key difference? Aspinall was actually criticizing Chandler for waiting around for McGregor during this time. And now Chandler is throwing that hypocrisy right back in his face, calling him a big goober in the process. To fully understand why this response cuts so deep, we need to examine the Jon Jones situation that finally reached its conclusion last month. Jones had been the heavyweight champion since submitting Cyril Gane in 2023, but he only defended the title once, against Stipe Miocic. The entire MMA world was calling for him to face Aspinall, the interim champion who had been putting on spectacular performances. But Jones kept stalling, kept making excuses, and kept the division in limbo. The saga finally ended when Dana White abruptly announced Jones's retirement from an event in Baku, Azerbaijan, elevating Aspinall to undisputed champion status.
Heavyweight division take the title away from him.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Chandler's point is crystal clear. Aspinall criticized him for waiting around for a big money fight with McGregor, but then did the exact same thing with Jones. The only difference is that Aspinall was forced to wait by UFC politics, while Chandler chose his path. But here's where it gets interesting. Many in the MMA community are pointing out that Aspinall's situation was different. He was the interim champion waiting for a logical unification bout, not chasing a money fight like Chandler was with McGregor. This war of words comes at a crucial time for both fighters, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Tom Aspinall will make his first defense as undisputed heavyweight champion against Cyril Gane at UFC 321 on October 25th in Abu Dhabi. He'll be coming off a 15-month layoff, but the British destroyer isn't worried about ring rust. Ring rust is all mental anyway, Aspinall recently stated. We can expect an improved version of me. I've had a year to train, and I'm going to show everyone what that's all about.
Well, I am the best heavyweight in the world, but I want to show everyone that I'm the best heavyweight in the world. Cyril Gane's lost 2 title shots, and I want to give him his 3rd and get him out of there.
But here's the pressure. According to retired UFC welterweight Matt Brown, the entire heavyweight division's credibility is on the line. If Gane, who has already failed twice to capture heavyweight gold, defeats Aspinall, it validates all the dismisses. Dismissive talk from Jon Jones and potentially sets the division back years. Meanwhile, Chandler is looking to bounce back from that brutal loss to Pimblett. His first fight after ending the McGregor wait didn't go as planned. Charles Oliveira outpointed him over 5 rounds at Madison Square Garden in their rematch.
It's almost an unfair comparison, right? When we talk about pressure versus pressure, everybody's under tremendous pressure. But I guess when you kind of look at it from not just pressure, but potential legacy and career and what's on the line, I think it's hard to not go with Tom Aspinall because the heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, no disrespect to Gane, love the guy. The heavyweight division loses a lot of respect. Even if Tom goes out there and it's a close fight or he gets dropped and then has to come back or something, like the heavyweight division has so little respect right now, probably deservedly so, I think. You know, with Gane getting his 3rd title shot in a couple years, like Tom has to show that he is the heavyweight division. You know, he has to prove that to the world. Like I am, you know, the heavyweight division's not just shit, but like I'm so good that the heavyweight division is shit, right? This is kind of his thing that he has to go out there and prove to the world. And if he goes out there and loses to Gane, you know, the division already is not respected. That brings Tom down significantly, I think, right? And of course, you know, the potential Jon Jones fight, which is whatever, who knows, right? Like how he beats Gane, assuming he does, may play a factor too. Like if it turns out to be a close fight, again, John's going to be on his phone with Twitter open watching this fight, like just waiting for Tom to fuck up and get dropped, get leg kicked and limping a little bit. Or, you know what I mean? John can't wait for that moment.
The Big Goober comment has particularly resonated with fans, showing that despite his recent struggles, Chandler still has that fighting spirit that made him a fan favorite. But beyond the verbal sparring, this exchange highlights a bigger issue in modern MMA: the tension between merit-based matchmaking and money fights that can derail careers and divisions. This feud between Michael Chandler and Tom Aspinall represents more than just hurt feelings. It's a clash between different philosophies of what it means to be a fighter in today's UFC. Will Aspinall prove his critics wrong and establish his dominance against Gane in October? Can Chandler channel this anger into a career-reviving performance in his next fight? And will we ever see these two settle their differences in the octagon? One thing's for certain, this war of words has added another layer of intrigue to an already fascinating heavyweight landscape. That's all for tonight's MMA Central. Keep your gloves up, and we'll see you next time for more breaking news from the world of mixed martial arts.
I never once mentioned his name. He goes to X and he says, DC said he wants to kill me at his house. I already buried him twice in the octagon. 3rd time I'm bringing the shovel. Not true. I never said I wanted to kill him at my house. Those aspirins must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. Emotional damage. Okay, lot to unpack there. I do a job. I can't omit that. No, actually, because of our history, people want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody. But we can't fight. So it's like, why would I let you occupy space in my head? Only an insecure person would go, immediately, he's talking about me. You can't say you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person.
Yeah, there's another quote I want you to react to. So Jones said this recently. I believe I beat Daniel Cormier at heavyweight worse than I beat him at light heavyweight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Molly,
let's have a real talk. Just you and I.
You're messy, Molly. Yeah, you and I and the rest of
you and I. Yeah.
Okay.
So you and me.
Let's make this true to everybody.
Okay.
Udonis will tell you, because he saw it. Udonis likes watching fighting. Jon Jones, when I was actively fighting, said I would not fight Daniel at heavyweight because it gives him an advantage. That's where he's best at. Molly, I'm 46 years old. I am retired. I swing a golf club. I swing a golf club in my free time. Yeah, he's out of his mind. I wish you saw the rest of the quote because he said something. What did he say? It was like,
he said he fight better than I do.
It was much better or much.
It was not correct English.
It was bad English.
Yeah.
It was very bad English from Jon Jones.
Daniel Cormier has just dropped a bombshell response to Jon Jones' controversial tweets. And let me tell you, DC is not holding back this time. We're breaking down everything that went down, the deleted tweets, and why this feud might never end. So grab your popcorn because this is about to get heated.
It seems as though Jon Jones does not like being talked about by two of the biggest voices in this game. I'm going to pull the curtain back for you guys. I know what Jon Jones made in Thailand. I was offered to coach this show with Jon Jones. Jon Jones' resume is impeccable. Jon Jones' star power, his ability to sell, matches up with anybody in the business. But guess what? Daniel Cormier's resume matches up with anybody in the business. Daniel Cormier brings eyes like people in the business. He's got me talking in third person. Jon Jones don't make more money than me in a week. Jon Jones makes more money than me when he fights. We over here eating. The biggest paydays you ever had were tied directly to me. We did it together. And I'll be honest with you, yeah, I'm talking about you. And I'm talking about you and I'm getting paid to talk about you. But I don't fight no more because all I can really do is talk. That's what I do. You fight. Or at least you're supposed to fight. You're talking about me, you're talking about Francis, you're talking about Chael, and almost ignoring the right thing. You can then stick it to everybody like you've done on so many different occasions and tell them about it. I can tell you guys on good authority, if I was still fighting today and I was still the heavyweight champion and Tom Aspinall was the #1 contender, I would have already fought him, 1,000%. Knowing how dangerous, it would have done nothing but excite me. I mean, this dude, Jon Jones. Still talking? Come on.
All right, let's set the scene. Last week, Daniel Cormier was on the UFC 318 weigh-in show. You know, just doing his job as a commentator. During a segment called Rapid Fire, DC gets hit with this question. Who would be the person you want to fight the most and in what arena? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Cormier's answer. He said he'd want to fight the person he hated the most at his house because, and I quote, I kind of want the ability to kill him, so I'd like to do it at my house. Now, here's the key detail everyone needs to understand. DC never mentioned Jon Jones's name, not once. But then Dan Hellie, the show host, makes this comment asking if the person's name rhymes with bomb, clearly hinting at Jones. Everyone laughs, but again, DC never actually said the name. But guess who was watching? Guess who immediately felt like this was about him? Jon Bones Jones. And boy, did he come out swinging with not one, but 2 deleted tweets that absolutely exploded across social media. First tweet, DC said he wants to kill me at his house. I already buried him twice in the octagon. Third time, I'm bringing the shovel. A blind man can see the mansion I own in Daniel's head. I just didn't realize how deep his hate still runs. Those ass whoopings must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. Emotional damage. And Sid. Now that last line about being the most painful thing, that's where Jones crossed a major line, and DC is about to explain exactly why.
John, can you hear that, John?
You got your ass whipped today, buddy.
No, I didn't. You're a pussy.
Oh, yeah, you did it. I had you on
You're
your back.
such a little...
I had
Oh
you
my
on your
God.
back. I had you on your back. You suck, bro.
You're such a little...
Yo, felt so weak. I'm glad to know that.
You're tiny. I'm
Yo,
like, this dude sucks.
Daniel Cormier just released a YouTube video that is absolutely devastating. And when I say he dropped bombs, I mean he leveled Jon Jones with facts and logic. First, DC makes it crystal clear. I never once said Jon Jones is the person I was speaking about. I never said it. Go back and watch the clip. But here's where DC gets real. He calls out Jones for being insecure. Only an insecure person would go immediately. That he's talking about me. No, maybe I wasn't, but maybe I was. You don't know.
I never once mentioned his name. He goes to X and he says, DC said he wants to kill me at his house. I already buried him twice in the octagon. Third time I'm bringing the shovel. Not true. I never said I wanted to kill him at my house. Those aspirins must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. Emotional damage. Okay, lot to unpack there. I do a job. I can't omit that. No, actually, because of our history, people want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody. But we can't fight. So it's like, why would I let you occupy space in my head? Only an insecure person would go immediately, he's talking about me. You can't say you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child. That's the craziest thing in the world. You say I'm the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child or their father got murdered. But again, he knows that. But that's why you know you're dealing with a different type of human being. When they can know that, they can know all those things, very well documented, what has happened in my life to say that. I didn't say his name. I'm only talking about what is the news now and also how stupid he is. But that's Jon Jones that thinks about me. He's still trying to fight me. When I'm retired, they got a dude that wants to fight him and literally begging him to fight. And somebody, tell Jon Jones, get off my page, man. Like, dang, what is he doing? Watching what I do? Come on, Jon.
Then Cormier addresses the elephant in the room, his job as a commentator. I do a job where I talk about the biggest things in the sport, so I can't omit talking about Jon Jones because of our history. People want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody.
I do a job where I talk about the biggest things in the sport, so I can't omit that in talking about Jon Jones because of our history. No, actually, because of our history, people want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody.
But the most powerful moment comes when DC responds to Jones saying he was the most painful thing in Cormier's life. And this is where it gets emotional, folks. This is the moment that shows the true character difference between these two men. Daniel Cormier, with incredible composure, delivers this gut punch reality check. You can't say that you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child. That's the craziest thing in the world. Or their father got murdered. But again, he knows that. But that's why you're dealing with a different type of human being.
You can't say that you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child. That's the craziest thing in the world. You say I'm the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child or their father got murdered. But again, he knows that. But that's why you know you're dealing with a different type of human being.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is the difference between a man with class and someone who's willing to cross any line for attention. Daniel Cormier has experienced real tragedy, losing his daughter in a car accident, his father being murdered. For Jones to claim he's the most painful thing in DC's life, that's not just wrong, it's heartless. Cormier continues, "It sucked to lose, and it hurt a lot more in 2017. It doesn't hurt today. That's 8 years past. I'm not stuck on that." Then he delivers the knockout blow. He just really is not the smartest person. And once again, it's proven.
And it hurt a lot more in 2017. It doesn't hurt today. That's 8 years past. I'm not.
But here's what makes this whole situation even more ridiculous. Jon Jones recently retired from the UFC, only to announce he's back in the testing pool and wants to keep his options open. Meanwhile, there's a hungry Tom Aspinall literally begging for a fight with Jones. DC points this out perfectly. They got a dude that wants to fight him and is begging him to fight. When does this end? Can this end, guys? Like, when does this end?
Dude that wants to fight him and literally begging him to fight. When does this end? Can this end, guys? Like, when does this
The man is retired, living his best life with his family, doing his job as a commentator, and Jones is still trying to pick fights on Twitter. It's honestly embarrassing at this point. So there you have it, fight fans. Daniel Cormier just masterfully dismantled Jon Jones's Twitter tantrum while maintaining his dignity and class. This is exactly why DC is beloved by fans and respected throughout the MMA community. While Jones continues to be his own worst enemy, the question remains, will Jon Jones respond to this, or will he finally realize he's fighting a battle he can't win against a man who's moved on with his life? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Jones was out of line with his comments? Is DC right to call him insecure? Let me know. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more MMA drama and news, and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we drop the hottest takes in combat sports. And I'll see you in the next one. Keep it locked for all your MMA needs.
I mean, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, you know, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, you know? And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like I'm at a place now where, you know, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my body doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger.
Jon Jones, who retired and vacated his heavyweight title just months ago, is back in the headlines. And this time he's making some bold declarations that have fans and fighters alike scratching their heads. What you're about to hear might leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about championship protocols in the UFC. Jon Jones has just sent a clear warning message to the UFC and Dana White, declaring himself the greatest of all time, while simultaneously claiming a title he no longer officially holds.
What's up, guys? This is UFC Heavyweight Champion of the World, Jon Jones, and I'm here in Moscow attending the IBA Bare Knuckle tomorrow at Life Arena with the one and only Alf. Let's go, baby.
Let's break down what's happening here, because this story has more twists than a Jon Jones spinning elbow. Back in June, the MMA world was stunned when Jon Jones announced his retirement following what many considered a lackluster heavyweight title reign. The 38-year-old legend had just defended his title against Stipe Miocic, but instead of facing the obvious next challenge, a unification bout with interim champion Tom Aspinall, Jones chose to walk away.
It was never about Jon Jones. What are you feeling towards him?
First of all, thanks for keeping it short, because I have said that I'm not going to speak about it anymore. Feelings towards him, I just wish him all the best. Genuinely wish him all the best. If he feels satisfied with what he's done, which he's saying he is, and he's happy to leave like that, then I genuinely wish him all the best.
UFC President Dana White confirmed that Jones had officially vacated the heavyweight title, leaving fans frustrated and critics calling him out for avoiding what many saw as his toughest test yet. But here's where it gets interesting, folks. Just weeks after his retirement announcement, something changed. Following Donald Trump's appearance at a UFC event and subsequent White House announcement, Jones suddenly reversed course on his retirement decision.
I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great Dana Well? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. Going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also.
And now? Well, now Jon Jones is traveling the globe, appearing at events from Thailand to Russia. And here's the kicker. He's still calling himself the UFC Heavyweight Champion. The latest controversy erupted when Jones arrived in Moscow for the IBA Bare Knuckle fight event at Live Arena. In a promotional video that's now going viral, Jones made a statement that has the MMA community up in arms. What's up, guys? This is UFC Heavyweight Champion of the World, Jon Jones. I am here in Moscow attending the IBA Bare Knuckle tomorrow at Live Arena. Let's go, baby.
What's up, guys? This is UFC Heavyweight Champion of the World, Jon Jones, and I'm here in Moscow attending the IBA Bare Knuckle tomorrow at Life Arena with the one and only Alf. Let's go, baby.
Did you catch that? UFC Heavyweight Champion of the World. Not a former champion, not ex-champion, current champion. The reaction from fans was immediate and brutal. Social media exploded with corrections, with comments like, Why does he still refer to himself as the HW champ and former champion flooding the post? One fan summed up the frustration perfectly. Yeah, he has gone past shameless. Why is he still calling himself the heavyweight champ? That clown already ran away. He's no champion.
You retired, but now it seems like you're getting back into it.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
just explain it, break it down for us a little bit?
I was retired. I felt like I was at a place where I've done it all in the MMA space, and felt like there wasn't too many more challenges for me, and I just wanted to do something more than championships and money. And Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House Garden, and that just seems like such a huge opportunity. Just to be able to entertain the country and the world at this level at the White House, it just means the world to me. So I'm back.